With more than 4,000 flights each day across more than 275 destinations on 6 continents, Delta Airlines is a massive operation, but only one of those flights can be their longest, and we're putting them to the test today by trying it out.
Hello, jet setters. This is Delta's longest flight, and you're coming along.
Our trip begins where so many Delta flights do, Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Where are we headed? We'll stand by for that one.
Back in Atlanta, I feel like I'm hub-hopping again.
And after a short ride on the plane train, we were in Concourse F, where so many of the airline's long-haul flights begin.
We booked these tickets with SkyMiles, and it's important for you to know that for 2 reasons. First of all, it's important you know we always pay for our travel. It's an important rule here at greenergrass.com. But secondly, those miles that you're earning, don't hoard them. I hear from so many people who are. Well, they're a depreciating asset. Airlines are constantly devaluing them, so you want to use them as you earn them. Don't let them sit in that account. Use those miles.
In the interest of following your own advice, didn't you have like 1 million Sky Miles before we booked this trip?
Not anymore.
One-way tickets on Delta's longest route are nearing 500,000 miles in Delta One, but if you remain flexible and can book early, you might find them for 325,000 miles. As I said earlier, it's not like the redemptions are getting better, so if you have the miles, use the miles.
Every great trip in Delta One starts in the Delta Sky Club. Let's head inside.
We first visited the Sky Club in Concourse F for some coffee. We needed to fuel up for this long flight, and with a little bit of effort, I found some. This club is popular because of its outdoor terrace, which offered a nice view of our A350 parked over at gate E3. But I also like the secluded upper level for its quiet ambiance and nice views. The buffet offerings in Delta Sky Clubs have improved, but still aren't as impressive as the a la carte dining you can find over at United's Polaris lounges. It is nice that they offered us station-making muffaletta sandwiches and even a popcorn machine. But we decided to move on. You never know what you'll find here in Atlanta.
Not sure about you, but I'd take the A350 any day. This video is part of our series called World's Longest Flights. I've had the good fortune to fly on the actual longest flight in the world. That's from New York on to Singapore. Now, this list is constantly changing, and we're going to be keeping it real here on the channel with even more videos, whether it's the longest flight on an aircraft type, or, like in this case, the longest flight on a particular airline. We're going to post those videos here in a playlist called World's Longest Flights. Let me know in the comments below, what world's longest flight do you want to see next? Tonight's flight will cover nearly 8,500 miles over nearly 15.5 hours. Currently, it's the 13th longest flight in the world.
And tonight's flight will be operated by an Airbus A350. Delta first started operating this aircraft type in 2017. I was fortunate enough to be on board that flight. If you're interested in following along with the adventures on this channel, from trains to planes and even automobiles, please consider tapping that subscribe button.
I mean, the airplane is just purpose-built for missions like tonight. Something this long, it's perfect. I'm not sure any modern airplane is quite as beautiful as the A350, but I'm sure that's the most controversial thing I've ever said on this channel. Many of you feel differently, but, you know, everybody's entitled to their opinions, right?
A couple items I make sure I have to arrive fresh. One is a saline nose spray. Kind of gets dry on the plane being on there for so long. Even the A350, which has an increased humidity, I find myself getting kind of dry. And then 2 items to like kind of just make yourself feel a bit more presentable and fresh. Deodorant and toothbrush and toothpaste.
There, off in the distance, gate E3, that's our A350. That's taking us 15.5 hours tonight. Whew, let's go. We've been hanging out over in the F concourse, but we come over to E because that's where our flight's leaving from. So we're transitioning to a new Sky Club.
And here in the Sky Club in E, we ran into a problem plaguing Delta lately: lines to get in. Now, this is a problem with lots of feelings, but no clear solution, because so many passengers now have access to these clubs thanks in large part to travel credit cards. Reducing the line will mean giving bad news to key populations of people who earn a lot of money for Delta. So, as always, if you want to get in here, be prepared to pack your patience. As for us, we enjoyed the view of gate E11 as yet another A350 arrived, this one after its flight in from Athens.
Unlike other airlines, Delta does not provide pajamas on a flight of this length, so it's time to change. Let's board this bird.
3 rules to these super long flights. Hydrate, hydrate, and hydrate.
They're all the same rule.
It's that important, you gotta hydrate.
And just where is Delta's longest flight heading tonight? Well, that would be Johannesburg, South Africa. So, about 300 of us lined up to get on board.
We are getting on this plane. This is happening. 15 and a half hours. Let's go.
Even-numbered seats like mine in 4A and Suzanne's in 6A are further from the window than odd-numbered seats. But by the time we'd booked our tickets, all of those odd-numbered seats had been taken. Now, even though it's further from the window, it's still quite comfortable and private. I put my backpack up in the overhead bin and got settled in. You'll find slippers, a blanket, and a pillow. Not quite as much bedding as you'll find on United Airlines, but at least it takes up less space and it's easier to store thanks to the bag it's in. My seat 4A has only one window. Following Suzanne's advice, I added my own bottle of water to the one Delta provided.
Delta One. This is one of the best business class suites in the sky. Here's the sky.
On the way down to Johannesburg, South Africa. Please sit back, relax, enjoy the flight. We're hoping to keep this as smooth as we can for you. Again, welcome aboard. Hope you have a great flight.
As I've said before on this channel, and probably say again, please never mistake any criticism for complaints. We just want you to have an idea of what it's like to travel with Delta or any other airline we're reviewing. We lifted off right on time and began our long journey. Now, I could tell from the moment we boarded, this crew was going to be great. They were in the aisles greeting everyone, helping passengers settle in, even offering tours of the suites. Even the captain came out to say hi to all of us. I pulled out the tray table as we left Atlanta behind. Now, the crew is always the best part of any flight, and I was so excited to fly with this team of Atlanta-based flight attendants. The amenity kit contains the basics, including a pen, which is an often missing element in one of these kits. It's really important. Service began with a hot towel about 20 minutes after departure. That was followed by warm nuts and a gin and tonic. The seatbelt sign lit up as we passed some pretty severe-looking storms. Can you believe people had the windows closed? A menu had been made available as we boarded, but we'd also received an email about a week before departure inviting us to pre-order dinner. I understand when passengers take advantage of this pre-ordering program, it saves a lot of effort for everyone. So I did it. I chose the short rib. First up was summer squash soup and a little gem salad. The soup was rich and flavorful, the salad fresh and delicious. Now for the main course. Airlines like to serve short ribs because they're usually braised, which means they tend to stay tender when they're reheated. Unfortunately, this one just wasn't as good as others I've had. It tasted bland and kind of burned. Just a few days ago, I'd had another short rib on an American Airlines domestic flight, and it tasted significantly better than Delta's. Suzanne had the chicken, which she found to be a bit dry. I'm really sorry to say that, because catering has really always been one of the areas where Delta usually shines. The dessert cart soon appeared. Sundaes, fruit and cheese along with tarts were on offer. Suzanne also opted for the ice cream sundae, which, as you'd expect, was delicious. In bed mode, the Delta One suite is a winner yet again, and I found the bedding to be both sufficient and comfortable. About 3 hours into our journey, I went to sleep. I woke up about 6 hours later somewhere over the South Atlantic Ocean, and a flight attendant offered Delta's midnight snack, a cheeseburger. It was really good, but was way too much. I kind of regretted ordering it, not because it wasn't delicious. It was just too much food. I continued enjoying the in-flight entertainment, and there was a lot of it. It was not hard to find something to enjoy, and that's important on a flight this long. Wi-Fi was also available for purchase. $40 for unlimited access during the flight seems steep when the airline is touting free internet for all SkyMiles members, but that promise has not yet reached the A350 fleet. I took a walk around the airplane. Delta offers 226 economy seats on the A350. You'll also find 48 premium select seats, and up front, there are 32 closed suites. About 2 hours left in flight, and we just now see the coast of Africa. Getting close. About 90 minutes to touchdown, and breakfast service is beginning now. Breakfast meant an option between a bowl of yogurt or this frittata. Now, this is a tough catering choice for Delta. We landed about 7 o'clock at night, so breakfast seems a bit strange. But since most passengers slept the whole flight, I guess it makes sense. That means it's time for the JebScore. This unscientific rating system, we consider the lounge, the seat, the food, the in-flight entertainment, and the service. First, the Delta Sky Clubs we visited in Atlanta were nice, but often crowded, and they just can't compare with United's Polaris lounges, or even the new Delta Sky Club at LAX. 3 stars here. The Delta One suites on the A350 were industry-leading, and they were introduced back in 2017, and they remain so today. Even the seats we had, closer to the aisle, offered plenty of privacy and were comfortable as both beds and chairs. 5 stars here. The food wasn't as good as the food we'd had on our recent trip with Delta to Sydney. I guess maybe the catering provider in Atlanta isn't quite as strong as the partner they have at LA. I'm not sure, but regardless, that's 3 stars here. The IFE on Delta has always been great, particularly on this massive A350 screen. I wish the A350s were like the rest of the fleet with free Wi-Fi. So that means 4 stars here. Finally, this crew. The team worked so well together and reminded me why Delta was my favorite airline for so many years. I was so impressed with how friendly, proactive, and professional they were. 5 stars to them. So that leaves Delta's longest flight from Atlanta to Johannesburg with 20 out of 25 possible stars. Between now and the next time, see you in the sky.
It's important to use those miles as you get them. They're constantly devalued. This video is part of a series about the world's longest flights. You see, airlines get more creative with city pairs, and airplanes get more longer legs on them.
Yes, this is a JetBlue amenity kit. Sorry.
Little known fact, this is the best escalator in the Atlanta airport. Also, the shortest. Now we're on one of the longer ones, but leave a note in the comments below if you know where that secret escalator is.
So keep those, keep that nose, keep those nasal passages moisturized. We're never gonna use this. Are we there yet?